And I am live. Welcome everybody to another episode of You Know What? Let me just say podcast. I am your host, Ray. Normally I would have people here, but schedule's been running tight and I'm pretty sure I'll get to talk to him after WrestleMania. Right after WrestleMania, we can get things adjusted. That's on me. It's not on them, it's on me. Schedule's been kind of tight lately. But with that being said, I do need to put some content out, and I just wanted to get some of this stuff out. It's more or less like a rant. So today is going to be a rant-filled day. So um, we're just going to get right to it. The first thing I want to talk about is the thing with Pooh Shiesty. Now I've already talked about it, but I just want to get on the whole snitching thing. So I'm not gonna play this whole video, but we're just gonna play a little bit because obviously we already touched on it.
Had a problem. If you don't know Pooh Shiesty, he's a rapper from Memphis, Tennessee. Now, Pooh Shiesty's problem is he was just arrested by the FBI for allegedly abducting and then robbing a rap legend named Gucci Mane. But here's the craziest part. Gucci Mane is not just a rap legend, he is a label owner. In fact, Pooh Shiesty is signed under Gucci Mane's label. Pooh Shiesty calls up Gucci Mane. He said, "Look, I don't want to be signed under you anymore." Gucci Mane said, "So, yeah, the thing is, Pooh Shiesty makes a lot of money for the record label. He's a big rapper." So Gucci Mane said, "Why am I going to let you out of the label when you make me a lot of money?" Pooh Shiesty said, "How about we have a meeting and talk about it face to face?" Gucci Mane said, "I don't see why not." "Well, let me tell you why not." You see, Pooh Shiesty and his father are heavily associated with the streets in Memphis. Apparently, Pooh Shiesty don't be playing about what he raps about, and he raps about getting down and dirty. Remember the song Back in Blood by Pooh Shiesty and Lil Durk? Well, that song wasn't for you or me. It was allegedly directed to a person he actually robbed, and he was telling them, "Come get your jewelry back in blood." It just happened to turn into a hit song. Gucci Mane said, "Yeah, that song did make me a lot of money." You think he upset about that? Let me just hire security. So Gucci hires security. He goes over to meet Pooh Shiesty. Now, here's where things start to get wicked. Because let's just say there's a lot of evidence against Pooh Shiesty. So Pooh Shiesty, Gucci Mane entered the meeting. Now, Pooh Shiesty, something I forgot to tell you, he was arrested recently for a charge. He's on house arrest. He walk into the meeting, he get a phone call. Ring, ring, ring. Pooh Shiesty said, "Hello?" The person on the phone said, "Yes, Mr. Shiesty, this is your probation officer. What are you doing in Dallas, Texas?" Pooh Shiesty said, "No, I was approved for recreation. I'm on vacation, all that." The probation officer said, "No, you're not. Go back to your house. You are on house arrest." Pooh Shiesty said, Probation officer said, "Boy, when I hang up this phone and blink 3 times, I better see you in the crib, Shiesty." Pooh Shiesty wasn't at the crib. How did the probation officer know Pooh Shiesty was in Dallas? Well, because Pooh Shiesty got himself an ankle monitor. So Gucci Mane said, "Look, we can do this another time, Shiesty." Shiesty said, "No, no, no, no. Let's just do this right now. Come on, come on, come on." They go in the recording studio. Shiesty said, "Look, I'm going to keep it simple. I want to be out of the label deal." Gucci Mane said, "Nah, we're just going to keep it like this." Pooh Shiesty said, "No, no, no. You're not listening to me." The two start getting a little agitated. Things start getting a little heated. Shiesty looked at one of the people he came with. He said, "Go get me my black bag." Gucci Mane said, "You better watch out. I got security outside." Pooh Shiesty said, "I count about 2 security guards with you. I got some friends too. Another rapper named Big 30, Pooh Shiesty's dad, and about 6 other dudes rush in. They give Pooh Shiesty what he was looking for in that black bag, and it was a..." He brings it out and says, "Gucci, so let's have that discussion again." The rest of these folks are armed as well. They take over the studio, block the door. That's why that kidnapping charge is there. Simply put, if someone doesn't allow you to leave a location, that's basically kidnapping. Pooh Shiesty's father brings out a contract saying Pooh Shiesty is let out of the label deal. They give it to Gucci Mane. They say, "Look, Gucci, we need you to sign this." But here's the thing. If you have on somebody, no matter what they do, no matter what they sign, that contract is not going to count. So Gucci Mane says, "Yeah, sure, I'll sign it." Signs it. They record Gucci Mane signing it. They say, "Okay, we got you signing it, Gucci. I mean, you did it."
Yeah, I know the story. And then he robs Gucci, and then he get in trouble. Now the whole thing, me playing all that, I just wanted to make sure for those that caught up. If you want to real now, go to this man's I think this is him right here. Z Zevi Universe. Just go to him. He had that whole story. Um, it's not even about that. It was about snitching because a lot of people was just like they wanted to call Gucci Man a rat, and it's Gucci Man a rat for snitching and all that other stuff to me. And let me start by saying I ain't a hood. I'm in the words of Andre 3000. I ain't a hood nigga. I'm a nigga from the hood. Mama stayed on me, so I turned out pretty good. I don't count. Now, you probably don't think, well, since I haven't been working the street, can you really call it a snitching? And I've always said, nigga, I've seen regular dudes hold down non snitching rule better than some street niggas. And I stand on that. I've seen non street niggas hold down a non snitching rule better than street niggas. Especially since, when they throw they, oh, you about to go to jail for life. Them niggas snitch. We done seen First 48. I done seen a lot of shows. Niggas snitch. When you really put pressure on them, niggas get the snitching. So I don't want to hear that, oh, you got to be in the streets to work with that. Two, most of the stuff that's happened, we're in the same hood. And this is why I tell people, like, I think as far as you living in the same hood, we may not do the same work, but we live in the same hood. We live in the same neighborhood. Some of you may witness this shit. So if you witness this shit, they'll probably look at you as a snitch too, and they don't want you to go snitching on them because you're obviously if you see them murder somebody, it looks like you could put them in jail. So most people like they try to either take care of it or they take care of it, if you know what I mean. So with that being said, do I think Gucci Man is a rat? I said, look, I don't think he's a rat. I don't think he's a snitch. I think first of all, it's already caught on. Most of this is caught on camera. If you caught on camera, there's no such thing as you being a snitch or a rat. It's already on camera. You might as well just tell them what happened. But I don't think that's the thing. It's just you just confirming. If anything, it's just confirming what happened since they already caught you on camera. They see you. They see you pulling up. They see you with these guns. It's like, nigga, we can see you. It's just like you can say that ain't me all the time, but nigga, it's just like, oh, they got you. What they say on RDC World, they got you in 4K. So even if Gucci Man didn't say nothing, they got him on camera. And I don't think so. I don't. So as far as this be concerned, I'm like, I'm not calling him a snitch. I'm not calling him a rat. It's not even that. I don't even think it's like being afraid of Gucci. I just think if we're gonna be following by street protocol, street rules. First of all, this was a business. This wasn't even no street shit. This is more or less a business deal. But Pooh Shiesty handled it a street nigga way, which is how, obviously looking at this how you shouldn't have done, especially since you just got out of jail. And it's funny, it's just like it's a lot of conversations on this. One was the snitching rule, and two is how the fuck you just get out of jail and then you go back for doing the same dumb shit. Especially when you are making money and you have the opportunity. And I want young people to understand this, and this is why I feel like I want to speak on this. I understand times are hard and why niggas going to block. I don't confront. I don't agree to y'all doing it, but I understand why people do it. It's survival out here. You got to make your money, and you gotta like even like being father. We always joke about selling crack. It's like, hey man, this don't work. We're gonna sell crack. I'm not going to do that, but we always make that joke. But I understand why because it's just like it seems like even when we're doing the right thing, it seems like it's not enough, especially in this economy. So I understand. So I always understood that concept. Now, um, but if you have an opportunity to make money without having to do anything illegal, and all you got to do is rap, and all you got to do is put music, and I understand the music business, they can be shiesty, and no pun intended, they can be they can be shiesty, and they can like the corporate people will fuck you over more better than any street nigga would. That's why Jeezy used to say, "Between you and me, I'd rather sell bricks." This is why like a lot of hood niggas when even okay, I would say this. I don't know if you can compare this or not, but I remember like being in the going into the military. Some shit like when you have people your age or a little bit older than you talking about you, but they like like fucking ranked higher than you, and sometimes you just gotta sit there and eat that shit. I'm like on the streets, you know that like if I ever see you on the streets, I'm knocking you the fuck out because there's a lot of people in the military. Like they'll say some smart shit on you. They'll say some shit that like I knock your ass. Like, and as black people, we understand this. It's just like because black people, we have this problem. Like, if someone say some smart shit to you, or they say some fighting words to you, you handling that shit then and there. I said, bro, what's up? You know, what's up? We good. What's good? We need like I need that right now. I need that right now. You're not gonna talk to me like that. Like I'm a grown ass man. You're not gonna like in the military. Sometimes you gotta eat that shit. And that was like the honestly, and I'm not a fighter. I'm not gonna say I'm no real street tough hood nigga, but I still had those aspects of dog. You're not gonna talk to me like that. I'm a grown ass man. Like, you know, like there's sometimes where I had to verbally tell people like, bro, I will knock you the fuck out. Keep playing with me. Like, is this because a lot of them I would say this because they forget where they are, and they forget like some people the military saves them. So it's just like you do know I will knock you the fuck out, and like I could give a damn about all this shit. Like a lot of dudes is just like it'll be worth going on restriction. So sometimes you have to fight that urge to like want to knock a people person out because someone wants to run in the mouth, and like they're like you. Let's just say you're just a 6 foot nigga, and you done probably done killed a person. To some 5'5" nigga that just wanted to run his mouth, but he has a higher ranking than you, so he think he better than you or some shit like that. There's a lot of that. And then black people, as black people, that's the first thing you got to shake. So I see that. So like, have you got to get that. And what I'm trying to say is, you sometimes you got to get that hood mentality out yourself, out your system. And sometimes there's gonna be times where you just gonna have to eat some shit. Where sometimes you would, in words, you would handle it. That's why I feel like most black people don't want to go to Nick because it was like, yo, I can't stand them niggas yelling at me. I said the yelling is not the problem. After a while, they stop. After a while, that stops. I tell people after a while that stops. It's more or less the slick shit a lot of people say under their breath. That's the shit. That was the shit that used to get me like amped up and wanted to fight. Almost fought a third class and a first class off of that shit when I first got on the boat. Again, not talking about the Navy days, but like that's how I compare the coincides. Um, like if you have that opportunity to make money and make better lives, yo, you really got to like go ahead and seize that opportunity. I hate, and this is the same thing in the military. I hate when you have that opportunity and you squander it because some people would die to be in your shoes. You know how many people want to be a famous rapper? They still out there having dreams of being a rapper, and you fucking make it. You over there with the money and all that other stuff. You at the number one hit people singing your songs, and you about to go back in jail. I said sometimes you gotta let this shit go. That's why I like niggas like Jay-Z. That's why I like niggas like 50 Cent. You know, people that's been in the streets and know that look, if I can make money off the streets, I can let that shit go. Let that street shit go. You know, you see where they are right now. So, but in conclusion, no, I don't think Gucci Man. I don't think Gucci Man is a rap, and we need to decide for what is really snitching or what we doing is snitching because 6ix9ine. Say what you want, 6ix9ine does have a point. Y'all really like most people. Um, y'all kind of like have favoritism on who snitches or not. Like everybody, like it's like if it's your man's, you kind of like give him a leeway. But if it's someone you hate, it's like, nah, he a bitch ass nigga, he a rat and all that other stuff. But if your man's do the same shit, you gonna give him anyway. So I think either niggas need to stand on shit, or it's just like, or go to fuck somewhere else. Which is why like the whole thing with snitching is stupid. And I still stand on. I've seen regular people because no one likes a snitch. there's a reason like cops have a blue wall of silence. There's a reason why like white collar crimes like they don't want you knowing what the fuck they're doing. There's a reason why a lot of these people scam. Hell, the Epstein file. If anything, the Epstein files is a big example of why the fuck no one wants that snitched out. So that's all I got to say about that one. Right?
Gucci's like, yeah.
All right, let's go to the next rant. And I personally want to talk about this, but um because like this is I feel like this is one of the most hypocritical things people talk about, and not just about age different. It's more or less like what a lot of people was doing at that age. People seem to forget that what you was doing at that age, and then once you get older, you think people get all high and mighty, you forget that you're a hoe, that you was a hoe back in the day. Now, I'm talking about the whole thing with Brandy and YA. I want to say this. I love me some Brandy, and I've always loved me some Brandy. All right. I didn't even know Brandy had a relationship with YA, and YA was like 22 and she was 16. Now, before we get any further, I want to make sure I say this. Like, as a disclaimer, I do not agree with a 22-year-old dating a 16-year-old. That's a 6 year gap. My thing is about 5 years, and like five to me is like five is put, and that's even pushing it. But I've seen most people have that relationship anyway, where it's just like she's 17 and like the person is 21. Like I've seen those relationships all the fucking time. I've seen those relationships. It usually starts when like let's just say like senior year, and then like they're dating a freshman, where a senior was dating a freshman. I done seen those type of relationships where it's just like he's 17, she's like 14 or 14, 13 or some shit like they just starting eighth grade, no ninth grade, and the person is damn near um graduating high school, and then like they stay in relationship. That's why they're high school sweethearts. So back in mind, it was still common to where like the 5 year age gap. That's why I say a 5 year age gap is really nothing that people kind of sneeze at, but I think it always depends on because the person is 22 is a very gray area because of that where the age range like it's from let's just say 16 to 20, 16 to 22 or 16 to 21. It's a very gray area how people look at it. But should have been fucking with Bernie at 16? No. No. I've said this many. I will say this with anybody. Don't 16 if you're 22, don't need to be fucking with no minors, especially if they're under 18. 18, you're an adult. That's about that's 4 years, right? That's a 6 year gap. That's a no no. First of all, yeah, she's not even an adult, and you're able to drink. You're able to consume alcohol. So yeah, no, that's a no no. Now, again, 17. I'd rather you not do it. But if you're 17 going on 18, obviously you're about to become an adult. So I'd rather you not do it. But also, I tell people I've seen those type of relationships as well. It was like especially if like some individuals known each other for like a long time, you're growing, and it's just like you're growing into each other. Now, I know a lot of people seem like now is like, oh, that's fucking weird. But I was just like, that's kind of like why they have laws with age gaps right now, and it's mostly for that age because this is like most people's prime. So like most people, you peak at 16. I've seen a lot of people peak at 16. That same, I know that seems weird because we now live to like up to 70 years old. It's like, how do you peak at? Some people peak at 16. So I've had stories about women that I knew when I was 16. I had female friends that at 16 looked like grown ass women. Like they look 21. Like they looked like they was in there. They look 18. They look 21. They was like they had grown women bodies. They had. I know a girl like she was at 16 had a body of a grown woman. That grown woman like Now it was just like, damn, if I had that body, I'd be slaying. But that's that's here and there. Um, but let's just.
When I'm looking on social media, they're like, we should cancel him. Should Wanye Morris of Boys to Men be canceled for taking Brandy's virginity when she was a 16-year-old child and he was a 22-year-old man? Okay. Yes. And then explain why. No. Or you're undecided. Here's my thing. I don't think he should be canceled in the sense of it wasn't like a violent assault. He didn't take, you know what I'm saying? But with that being said, it wasn't an assault. So I don't think he should be canceled because he didn't assault her. Did he groom her, in my opinion, with talk, and manipulate her? Yes, that's my opinion. That's what it is. She's a child that fell victim to a older man, 6 years older, who was famous. It sounded good. It looked good. He's making music. She's famous. She's blowing up. Her songs is getting out there. She getting to the bag. But he's an older man. It's like, hey. And I think if Wanye wants to just show good faith, he could apologize. He could say, yeah, I fucked up. Even that clip of him on the Breakfast Club, that was very inappropriate. It was very cringe. And his boys knew, his bandmates, they knew he was fucking on her. You know what I'm saying? I would be like, look, we was young, but we knew it was wrong. Remember, they did say we needed to hide it. So I do not think he should be canceled, but an explanation would be nice, but he don't owe us nothing. Hey, if he never speak on it and he move on with his day, it just is what it is. That's just my thoughts. Let me know in the comments. Should he be canceled? Yes, no, undecided.
Okay, so now what is your problem with this? Again, I'm gonna say this again. Wanye shouldn't have been fucking on Brandy at 16. I want that to be very clear in my Stephen A. Smith. Let me be very clear. Wanye shouldn't have been fucking on Brandy at 16. The problem I have is that the whole thing of she was a child, and maybe it's just this is just me and women. I want you to explain this as a 16-year-old man. I had to take accountability for a lot of things. I know a lot of women like to say men don't know how to take accountability. I've always said that is bullshit. I had to take accountability for a lot of shit. Especially since if you like when I used to get in trouble for shit, the first thing my mom used to say is, boy, you know better. I taught you better. My father used to say this. Boy, you know better. I taught you better. Anytime when I fuck up, and it's like, I know I taught you not to do this shit, and they did. They put accountability on me to where like I don't at some point where it's just like when if anything happened, I tell them what happened. It's just, yeah, this happened, and it got to a point where I just like I tell people all the time. After a while, you stop lying to your parents because after like for one, all my stories and they can tell you they're so funny. It's just like you can't lie and the like most of once you tell the truth, I feel like okay, they tell you the truth, you got the information. It's just like they're mad, but they're just like, hey, he was honest. He was like they respect that, and you get a little further with respect to the truth. I'm like, yeah, I fucked up. If you just admit you fucked up, you be like, a lot of people was just like, but if you try to hide the fuck up, yeah, yeah, no. So me, after at a young age, at 16, I knew what I was. I like most of the stuff. If I was getting in trouble with, I knew I could get in trouble for it, but yet I still did it. It wasn't now. I know a lot of people is like you're frontal love and all that. Look, even though that is true, the part of me calls bullshit because it's just like you seen right from wrong. Like drugs are bad. Drugs ruin your body. Smoking ruins your body. People do it anyway. Like if you drink alcohol and you go behind a wheel, you are liable to be in a car accident and get DUIs and shit. People understood that. I understood that at 16. Hell, I even understood the age of consent at 16 and all that other stuff. And this age gap and all that stuff. I knew this at 16 because that's where I learned it from in school. Like you learn this shit in school. I've been learning this shit. So you telling me these motherfuckers don't like now again, I live in a two-parent household. So maybe you couldn't say, well, you live in a two-parent household. You could probably have that, but I had a mother and father that was on me. So anytime I fucked up, I had to take accountability. But it seems like I feel like Brandy also has to, and this is just me. I feel like Brandy also has to take accountability of what she was doing because like, like you think these. This ain't the first time a grown ass man approached Brandy. And she probably just like she probably loved herself some boys man, probably loved herself some YA. And she probably thought I didn't read the book, so I'm pretty sure whatever she was explaining in the book. But I seen a lot of women at that. I seen a lot of girls at that age. They'll fuck with older niggas, and this is the part where like a lot of people separate because it was just like, oh my god, people should have told me. Half of y'all fucking knew. Half of y'all fucking knew. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I was a virgin till like I was 20, and like one thing that kept me from like not having sex is because in my senior year, everybody like majority of the people I knew was getting pregnant. Like they had baby bumps by spring. Everybody had a baby bump. There was so many winter fucking to summer babies, and I was just like, oh my god, this girl pregnant, black, white, Hispanic. It did not matter. I seen a lot of teen pregnancy. Like teen pregnancy was rampant in my fucking school. To where to me it was just like I'm not having sex. I said, and I understand most people. You could have wore a condom. I was like, yeah, you could have, but it was just like, why risk it? Most of these people they was having babies, and I was just like, I don't need a baby right now. And like a lot of people was having unprotected sex, and I was just like, I'm trying to graduate high school. Being to me, I was just like, at that point, I was trying to graduate high school and like find out what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. The last thing I needed was a kid. So yeah, I like decided to not have sex. It was so, but again, that's me knowing better. That's me understanding what the fuck I saw around me because, and that's me. It's like I knew I was cognizant. I was aware of everything that I was seeing around. So a lot of these women, when they used to like get pregnant and shit, and it's just like they would usually fuck with older dudes. I remember, not the school I graduated from, but the school I transferred from. They used to be niggas in the parking lot, grown ass men in the parking lot. They just graduated. A lot of them had cars, and like a lot of them we knew from the neighborhood, and they was just sitting outside, just chilling because they really had nowhere to go. But they would just be chilling in their cars, and motherfucking the girls my age at that time, like 14, 15, 16, go up and start talking to these grown ass men. And a lot of the conversations was just like they got themselves a grown ass man. Girl, he got a car. I've seen him. That girl, he got a car. He got a job. He got his own place. Like a lot of like I know a lot of dudes like yeah some of them had girlfriends, but a lot of dudes they done lost girls to older men because older men was more situated. It's like why would I be with you when my man got a fucking he got his own place. He don't stay with his mama. He got his own place. He got his own car. And a lot of those girls get pregnant. A lot of them got pregnant. I'm not saying like Brandy was one of those girls, but like we done see, but men done seen this shit, and like when we say, "Oh no, these women, you got to take accountability of them because they was fucking with them," because I feel like they knew they was doing. Damn that I was coerced or no, I do believe in coercion. I do believe in manipulation, but I also feel like a lot of them knew what they was doing. A lot of them knew they was getting into. A lot of them was searching for older men, and I feel like we don't talk about that enough to where like it's a real problem sometimes. And I fucking don't. I don't. Me personally, I don't like that. I don't like that because like at that age I had to take accountability. I had to take accountability for their actions. If I fucked up, that was on me. And even then, I grew up. I went to the military, so accountability. That's all I had to understood. It's just like the first thing they teach you is to like they teach you their ways and you learn their ways. And if you fuck up, it's on you. And not only does it fuck up on you, it fuck up on your division. So if you fuck up, the division has to take care. And we was a bunch of division full of knuckleheads. So imagine if someone fucking up and everybody looking at that dude, and then like we had to make sure you was fucking squared away so you didn't fuck up. So all I understood was accountability. Yes, my division was full of knuckleheads, but I love them brothers. But even then, it was just like we had to look out for ourselves and some shit like that, and some shit we had to be honest. We had to make sure we were squared away. I if I was because I was head PO in the Navy in boot camp, and I had to take care of me and like five people had to take. Even though it was supposed to be 9 people, we had like 5 people clean the bathroom. While we had to do that, people was. I actually did not have like other people had people helping them make their beds. I actually didn't. That shit used to piss me the fuck off. I ain't gonna hold you. That shit used to piss me off because it's like everybody else has someone raising. It's like yo, and people dudes like, yo, you need to go make your bed. I was like, do you not see me in here cleaning? I was like, can you just go do the shit for like help a brother out and some shit like that? But I don't think them white boys didn't care. It's just like everybody else is just like they helping them, but I don't get the help. And I was head PO, but that's another shit. That was just pissed me off. But
Should Wanye
I'm sorry. Long story short, like yo, like I understand that Brandy was young, and again, Wanye shouldn't have been fucking with her. But I feel like This is one of the things where I feel like accountability goes both ways. Like you can't just pile that on Wanye. Brandy got to have some of that too. And I love me like again, I love me some Brandy. I really do. But I also feel like you knew what you was getting into, and I'm not even gonna like delve into Brandy's past because I know a lot of people do that. Or that, like she dated a lot of men, and like they feel like she was passed around. I'm not gonna go into all that because I feel like there's no need. But I will say this: I feel like you gotta take some of that credibility. And I know a lot of you women are the same way. It's just like, no, you was a hoe back then. I'm not calling Brandy a hoe, but a lot of the other women is like, y'all was hoes back then. Y'all was fast little girls, and y'all knew that. So now y'all trying to be like, now that it's caught up to you, you trying to like, oh, but these men took advantage of it. I was like, half of y'all knew what the fuck y'all was doing, but y'all thought what it was, but what it was is what it wasn't. If that makes sense. Okay, along to the last thing. Now, this is 2 hours long. I just realized it's like an hour and a half, hour, almost 2 hours long. But I wanted to react to this, the whole thing. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna go to the whole thing, but I think there are some things that I wanted to react to, and I think this is right here. So, but the whole thing with Clifton Powell, you get into it with that emotional dude. And I still want to watch some of it. I probably won't watch the whole thing, but I wanted to do this with Father and Dion. I don't know if we ever going to get into it. Again, my fault. My fault. But there's some things that I saw that I did want to talk about, and I think this is it right here.
The girlfriend or whoever, they are all, it all, and his parents were slaves. Well, his grandparents were slaves. So what I've learned is it's not your mother's fault, it's not your father's fault, it's not your fault. We were born into 450 years of post-slavery PTSD. I am 69, be 70 in March. I've just learned how to love. Our parents didn't know how to love. Their parents didn't know how to love. And if I could say anybody maybe had an edge, it was the women. That's why I celebrate Black women. I live with a psychiatrist, forensics detective, gangster, loving Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, who's just been patient with me to teach me how to love. But in closing on this, because I don't want to get too deep, I called my buddy, man. I said, I'm fucking up, bro, really bad. I'm fucking up. So I never been monogamous. So I don't even fucking know what it
What age did you become a monogamous?
today. No, but let me just say what it is.
Good to know.
And we don't talk about this. We don't talk about dopamine being in a pleasant center of the brain like we talked about. About oxytocin is the hormone. It's called the cuddle hormone. So a lot of times we're just talking in generalities. And that's why I think what you said about counseling, because a counselor is going to get inside of this from a real, not even white people perspective, just from.
Now, yeah. So this was some of the stuff I was talking about. The one thing I want to ask is like, and this is Clifton Powell, phenomenal actor. It's like he's probably a lot of people's favorite bad guy, or for most people, if you watch Next Friday, he was Pinky Nigga. But I know no more from Pinky Nigga, but he's one of the honestly he has the bad guy look, but he's one of the greatest bad guys on film. Period. He know how to play a bad guy, especially on TV. Like he was a bad guy on Rock, and I think he was a bad guy on motherfucking LL Cool J's In the House. Like he just have that look of like, oh yeah, I don't know about that dude. That nigga kind of, but he also is actually pretty funny, as you saw in Next Friday. But I would ask him, what do you mean by like black men have never been taught how to love? Now again, I'm speaking from an anomaly standpoint. Like I grew up in a two-parent household. My father loved me. My father loved all our kids. My brother has a different father from my father, but if you would ever see them interact with each other, you would have never thought that my mom had my older brother from another man. Took a man like he raised his own. Shit, I don't know. I just looked at my mic. Um, shit, I don't know where it cut off at, but I'm just gonna say this again. A lot of like I come from an anomaly standpoint to where my father loved me. I can't like there is no doubt that my father didn't love me. I never like was like yearning for a father's approach. My father loved me. Like we still talk to this day, obviously. Like my brother has a different father than I do, but like my father brung him in. You would and if you would have seen the way they interact, you would never thought that like, he raised him like he was his own, like he was like it was his own child. You would have never thought, like you would have never thought that he had a different father, unless someone told you. Let's just say that never treated him like a stepchild. But I realized that with that, I'm coming from a privileged standpoint, from which is sad, but I come from a privileged standpoint where I had both a mom and a dad in my life, my whole life. Most people don't. Most people, they're like they either don't have it or their peoples are toxic and they grew up in toxic environments where like it's more or less a survival than love. The love was there, but it was just like more or less a survival. I think we had both, but it was just like we also like we stuck together. Like as a family, like as our family, we kind of like stuck together because honestly, we all that we had. So the one thing I would ask shoot, the one thing I would ask Clifton is how would you know elaborate on black people not knowing how to love, because I understand that sometimes we are raised off survival, but just things that I would probably would understand. I don't know how we don't know how to love. So I think that's the one thing I would elaborate on.
From a scientific perspective,
Yes.
unless science is not wrong and the brain is not made with this. So when I hurt my girl, which I've done over and over, and I commend her for even being with me, and I said it in my podcast, and I'm gonna say this and stop. I called one of my partners who was brilliant. He said, when you hurt somebody, where you leave them is where they stay. So I think our parents, our grandparents, our uncles, the people that raised us, those men who treated the women outside the house nice, but then put the thumb on the grandmama and put the thumb on the girlfriend or whoever. They are all. It all comes from out of all of that, and I think that's what makes me excited that we're going to bring the women and the uncles and we need to bring them all in here. But go ahead. What you going to say?
The one thing that I just want to talk about in Luke, make sure I say the name right, crop this part out. Okay. What Luke brought up was like accountability. Like, yes, we can talk about, what our families did to us, all this, all that. But eventually, and I know why people try and say this, and I really don't like that, but eventually it comes a point where you have to decide, how do I want to live my life? I haven't talked to my daddy in 6 years. I don't give a fuck about what my family has gone through. I know where I will go. So it's like, you can only say that for so long. Black women are tired and, kind of like putting onto them like, hey, you didn't do this entirely, because everybody in here, several people have talked about going to counseling. Have that upon yourself. Stop waiting for a woman to tell you what you need to do. Take that upon yourself.
Let me address that real quickly. For me, I didn't know fucking how to
Can
love.
I say one more thing? No, I have to say this, because another thing that happens is, too, you live your life for so long, and I'm not meaning no disrespect by
It's
this.
all right, just say it, bro.
But when you hit your 60s and your 70s, I want to be right.
Okay, but let me.
I want to live my life right. I want someone to take care of me and protect me, and that's what a lot of women have issues with.
Because I'm living it right the fuck now.
As I said,
listen to
I said 60s and 70s.
Let me say this.
Y'all overtalk me.
I'm gonna fucking overtalk you because you're talking out of line.
But you're not gonna disrespect me.
You don't know what the fuck you talking about.
I am.
I do. Love it.
I do.
You don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Oh, I do.
Because you can't.
I do. I do.
You don't know it, nigga.
I do.
Now this is obviously anybody who's watching this. This is kind of like the scene that like everybody from the emotional brother and Clifton Powell. So I want to talk about this, and because he was just like, because Clifton Powell, he probably says it, because I've seen this clip many a times, but Clifton Powell says it's just like, I didn't know I was broken. Most people don't, and the thing is, like, most people don't know that they're broken, and I understand this. It's just like, or what they're doing is broken. It's especially if it works. And the thing is with the older people, and I say this a lot because as young people, we look at what's working now, but we don't understand like what they lived through, and probably it worked for them in their time doesn't work for now for us. Then the thing is, it's like we're here to pass on knowledge, but we also have to understand the knowledge that they pass on to us. Find out what works, and update the let's just say update the manual, because a lot of us we're still like this. For example, this whole 50-50 thing, and I hate bringing this up because I know a lot of people don't bring this up, where black men says, yo, you have to work to, like back then, they had a factory job, or some people, they work one job, and they was able to take care of their family with one job. Now, you need, in this day and age, it takes a two-person income. And sometimes one man is either working two jobs, or you're working a job and your spouse is working a job, and both of you are tired. And then like um now, and to where's the women go, like I feel like I'm going to be doing all the work. And I always have to me that question is, so why are you doing all the work? Do you tell that man that you're doing all the work, or do you just feel like you're doing all the work? Or do you even see what he does? And the reason why I say that, because I feel like a lot of women don't even care. Like you be in your own shit. Sometimes you don't really care about what the fuck other people are talking about or what the other people are doing. So I noticed that I've noticed that about a lot of people. It's like they don't really understand or know or even care about what the other's doing. It cares about what they're doing and how they're feeling. And I was like, well, that's a very selfish way to think of things. Now him saying like I didn't learn till 60, probably because what he was doing in his 20s, 30s, and 40s was working. And people don't understand. It's the same thing with basketball. Like the way Jordan, he kind of like led. It was very headstrong. He talked shit to his people. He was just like, "I need you to go along with me." And some people like they don't know. Or most people don't know how to handle it. And it's just like he just wanted people around him. Now that way, coaches don't work now because these are a different set of kids, and this is a different set of generation. And we probably don't even raise like that. Like our generation don't really raise the way, like as a millennium, we don't really do the things that boomers do, right? But what boomers did work in their time, and this is what I tell people: what the thing the boomers did, it worked in their time. Us as millennials, we have to understand. Okay, what works because they passed down everything. What works, what doesn't. Okay, this don't work. Okay, this works. This don't work. Okay, all right, so this don't work. How do I make this work? So we reinvent them in my I would just say the manual of life, and then we make it work for us to where okay we have much information we can pass it on now to the next generation to where the next generation they can look at it and go okay yeah this is outdated we shouldn't be doing this anymore okay this is good and this is good. The problem is it's just like I think a lot of people in our generation were even younger, we're like, yeah, nobody do this shit no more. Okay, but we're still following the okay, mic check. Mic check. Okay, mic check. Okay. Alright, it's working now. I'm sorry. Technical difficulties. Technical technical difficulties. But damn, what was I? Oh yeah. The whole manual thing. The whole manual thing, like we we take things from the old generation. We try to figure out what works for us, what doesn't work for us, and then we try to pass it on to the next. And then they're going to look at it and go, okay, this is outdated, that's outdated. Okay, this is what we should be doing now, and all this stuff. The problem is we also don't know what we're doing now right now. It's like we're trying to figure out what works because everything is just like it's all of a sudden okay. We can do this from right now. Next thing you know, the shit don't work. So a lot of that is just like we're trying to figure out what got into it. Now, as far as this situation to go, um, yeah, the Zesty brother obviously got emotional, and like this is also the shit that's going on because like yeah, and he explains it. Let me just play because I think he explains it.
I'm good. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Get the fuck out of here. I'm living. You can't tell me what the fuck I'm living, nigga. I'm living it right now. You cannot fix no shit that you don't even know is
I
happening.
think there's a misunderstanding.
No, but you going, but he's generalized. You can't. No, listen, bro. Let me stop. This is what it is. Let's get to the truth of this shit. You can't fix no shit unless you meet somebody who is on another level to help you elevate to understand. I'm not indicting anybody. I'm telling you what the shit is. You can't fix some shit that you don't know about, bro.
Yeah.
You can't. And then you get there at 69 or 70 and say, I thought I was being loving all this time. That's what our parents have gone through, and that's why we all so fucked up right now.
You asked.
Basically, what he was saying. There's nothing wrong with what he said right there, because again, maybe in that time, that type of thought, that type of thinking, or what he was doing worked. Maybe in that time, it was like that type of his analogy, that shit worked. Oh, the way he was raised up or how you be raised up, the whole like the toughest thing about being a man thing and all the other stuff that most people would call toxic now. It probably worked back in the day because that's how you survived back in the day. Like telling people like the whole thing about men being emotional and showing emotions and all that other stuff, it probably worked back in that day because you need to. It's just like I always say, like, hey, say what you want. I don't care if you gay, straight, non-binary, whatever the fuck you identify as. You have to have a little toughness in you because people are going to try you. So you need to be tough enough to where people don't try you. They are going to, and I tell people this all the time because it's just like I can't protect you. And I used to say this to my to my home, to my female friends and all that other stuff because they feel like sometimes black men don't protect you. I said if I could, I would protect you 24/7 out the fucking day. But there are going to be days where I'm not going to be around, and I want to make sure, and I hope that you are safe. I don't know who I said this to, but it's just like, yeah, you don't think like when my sisters go out, I don't worry about them because they are beautiful women and niggas would try them. Like you think when my sister goes somewhere late at night and you are vulnerable out there. You don't think like you as my homegirl, especially I'm from DC, that you go in that metro and some dude don't want to motherfucking don't know how to take no for an answer, and it's just like a lot of you women. There are men that worries the fuck about you, that wants you to have yourself out. We can't be around you all day, but if we could, we protect you the best way possible. And it's like you don't really see us doing this because you're more worried about the men that's put you in danger. And I said, well, there are men out there. You don't think we worry about that too? I said half of the shit we tell you to watch out for because they've done that to us. And I said, which is including trying to take your manhood from because there's some weird people like that. So, with that being said, it's just like, so when we tell you, hey, don't go down 8th Street, there's a bunch of killers, dealers, and drug dealers out there that are going to take advantage of you, and you go, I'm a grown ass woman, I can go wherever the fuck I want to, and then you go down the street and go, oh my God, they did exactly what you said it was. I said, that's why I told you not to go there. That's us trying to protect you. When we tell you, hey, that nigga didn't got nothing good for yourself, That man has nothing good going for himself. I'd rather you not fuck with him and you still fuck with him and you go, I'm a grown ass woman, I do what the fuck you want. You go, all right. And then when you learn your valuable lesson, we go, didn't I tell you not to fuck with that nigga? Plus you thought I was being a hater, right? But I helped you out. And like shit like that, men have to go, especially what good men have to go to. Because yes, there are bad men out there. You know what? There are good men out there. And men, we understand this because you know what? There are some bad women out there, but we know there are some good women out there. Because that is the nature of the world. Good and evil. And it seems like people don't forget about that. This is why I said like this whole gender war things and it's stupid. It's like men are dangerous. No shit. No shit. That's why we tell you to protect yourself.
Asked, how do we love black women?
Yeah.
That's right here. Trust black women and listen to black women because they know more than we do what it is that they need.
I don't think.
Okay, and look, I love black women, and I say this. It's like they know about themselves. I love black women, but I get sick tired of that rhetoric that they know more. Some of y'all don't. Some of y'all really do not. Some of y'all really do not. All right. And I've said this before. There are times where I told people, "Don't go down there. Don't do that. Don't. There are things that not everybody knows everything. All right. Not. It's just like now. Are there black women that I listen to that I go to advice to? Yes. Shout outs to Crystal. There's some things I ask Crystal, and she gives me some solid ass real shit advice. My sisters have given me solid advice. My own mother has given me solid advice. Hell, some of the black women at my job have given me solid advice. But you know what? Some brothers have too. And this is the part where it's just like I always say this. I say we know it's like sometimes women don't understand. We know you better than you do. That's why when you switch up, we're the first to notice. You ain't never did no shit like that before. I said when a man really loves you and he really pays attention to you, he knows it. Like if a man knows that you love Hello Kitty, and he sees something like a Hello Kitty like little doll, and he goes, "I saw this and thought of you and gave this to you." That's why like most women, even though it's a tiny gesture, it means the world to them because wow, no one has never done that for you. It's the same thing like this girl. She told me no one has ever gotten no roses, and I said, and I literally looked it up. I said, "Look, I'm on this site right now. Pick out any rose you want." She picked out the roses she want. I said, "I'll let you know." It's like it's going to deliver there in a couple days. I'll let you know when the shit pop up. When the shit popped up, she like opened it, and then she was very grateful. Like she held on to the flowers even though it died, but she like kept them and some shit like that. That's how much it meant to her because like no one has ever done that to her. Right, and that's going to be probably another rant, but not now because I don't. I'm on here long enough. But the bare minimum thing that women, I meant to like have a rant about that too. The whole thing about the bare minimum because I get sick of hearing that too, especially if you don't get shit. But again, not the time and place. But yeah, that my bare minimum rant. I just got to get that together before I talk about that.
That's true either.
As
There's a
men,
lot of black women who don't know how to love.
I'm not talking about what they know how to love. I'm saying what they need as far as the
I get that.
We're talking about, that's what we're talking about right now. Also, if we're going to use our privilege and power as men in society, how do we show up and be accountable? Like you said, the way to be accountable is to dismantle patriarchy, because patriarchy makes it so that men have the power and women do not.
But you can't get there.
Also, I disagree with that because I've seen women thrive off of patriarchy. And like Sergeant Willie P used to say this, everybody like patriarchy helps everybody because patriarchy also tells you don't the things that you can't do to women. Right? And a lot of people don't understand that. It's like maybe they think about, especially with how white men and how white people have the cultures with their women and it seems and all that other stuff. But there's a lot of things that in patriarchy that especially they teach you chivalry. Most people don't understand that. How to approach the lady. Don't put your hands on a woman and all that other stuff that falls under patriarchy. A lot of people don't understand. And I feel like there's a lot of things about patriarchy they don't understand. But I think there's a lot of things about patriarchy that people don't really know about that really falls under patriarchy. But everybody say, oh, patriarchy is bad. I was just like, I've seen women abuse patriarchy for their own means. And then, like, when people say that, I was like, well, you created the rule. It's like, and to me, it's just one of those things where it's just like, I'm not complaining about that. I'm just telling you, like, I don't see, like, what they complain about, what they're trying to get changed. It's like, you're going to change a lot of things that even benefits you. So, do you really understand what you really want? So, now, the thing about this, it's not the ideology. It's the people that's in charge. I've always said this. I said there's nothing wrong with capitalism, except for capitalism is obviously like the rich get richer and the poor stay poor. There's no middle class. But I also feel like we need to, like, how can I say this? When it benefits you, it benefits you. And I see a lot of people abuse the benefits. The problem is, it's just like, it hasn't been benefiting us. And, like, it's because the people in it. Not really the ideology, because the idea is solid, but the people that's running it, to me, it's what's fucking it up. To me, it's like the New Jersey Nets when they had KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. On paper, it looked phenomenal. On paper, it looked like a championship team. But they better get out the first round of the playoffs. That's what we're looking at. And that's how I feel about majority. That's how I feel about what the patriarchy is right now. On paper, it looks phenomenal, but we don't have people that mesh together and people that know how to make it run well. 96, like the Chicago Bulls with Phil Jackson on there, like them running the triangle. You've seen when the triangles run well, it is run phenomenal. It's very flawless. But you also see when Mike Brown was on the Knicks and he was trying to run the triangle, and that shit was terrible to where Dennis Rodman and other people was just like, yeah, they don't know how to use the triangle correctly. Like, this shit is trash. To be like, y'all make it look trash. It's just like, we would have had that shit running flawlessly. But that's just how I feel about that. But I do agree, you need to listen to black women. Everybody has a voice to listen to black women, but he's also right. Some black women don't know how to love. Some black women just grew up in hate. So you gotta understand, like, someone that knows how to. It's not just anybody, just black men. Someone that knows how to love would understand how to treat some things better.
Unless you listen to him, we got to go, and you may not agree. We got to go to therapy. I should be in therapy right now. My girl should be in therapy. We all come from generations and generations, and you can't motherfucking sit here and tell me when I'm going through at 70, I just realized, but listen to what I'm saying. Let's be good, bro. It's not gonna get out of control. This is real shit. Bro, this is real shit. I'm telling you, you can't love a queen. Some of these girls out here in Queens because their daddies wasn't there. If your daddy ain't there from 12 to 25, you going down a rabbit hole. Promiscuity, drugs. Gotta read more. Gotta stop getting so fucking defensive and read more, because I can't read. I know what the fuck I'm talking about because I'm living it. Until you meet a real motherfucking queen who had to figure out her trauma, you can't even learn how to love a black woman.
So here's one thing.
That's what we gotta start.
Here's one thing with because I think I agree that you can't wait until you
gotta hold yourself accountable.
So
if you figure it out.
Hold on. Because
if you figure it out, bro.
But you gotta let other people talk. Hold on.
No, it's all good. That's why I can't do this, bro.
I got you.
I'm on.
You can't.
But you can't.
The arguments are important. This is how black men talk.
The energy is.
So I want to make sure. This is what I want to make sure we're framing properly, because at a lot of the time we think, because you're talking about your privilege and your power and how you use it. A lot of time we've been taught our power is how we control a situation, and we try to control that situation by dominating it, by shutting other people down, by overpowering them. And I think that is something that, I mean, monogamy, just to be real, is not the end all be all. That's not the best. It's not the only way. It's not the only way to live, and it's not just men or women. It's literally, there are other ways to be. And so some people value monogamy more. That doesn't mean that you have sin and you dead and you evil if you haven't been. But the problem is, most of the time, the way that we're living is by telling somebody that we are monogamous when we're not. Hold on. That's lying.
But let's hold on. Bro.
So that's dishonesty.
We can't talk about monogamy. No, we gotta talk. No, we gotta talk about
you. I'm not arguing with you. I'm agreeing with you. Hold on.
Men are not. First of all, this is not our culture.
We gotta stop. I know I do this on the podcast. We all do this on the podcast. We all get excited to talk about. Sometimes we feel like we're not getting. We gotta stop over talking each other. Like we had to. I had to. Honestly, this is what I had to learn when I started podcasting, and like I was doing it live. Like I had mics and all that other stuff, and we was just all sitting in one room. I had to learn. Like you had to learn. Hey, one mic at a time. Even like. We only had, honestly, throughout this whole time of podcasting, I've only had one real big blowout. And that was between Xavier and D-Wolf. And I had to mute everybody. And I had to, like, yo, you're not doing all that, talking all that, and make sure everybody get talking. There was some times where, like Dion, like, we had to talk to Dion. This was just, Dion and Crystal known each other since they were kids, right? Dion gets excited, and he'll throw his point out. And sometimes, like right in the middle of like Crystal ranting, and like me and Father had to tell Dion, you can't keep cutting her off and letting her cook. There'd be sometimes where Crystal would be talking and someone else talking. I had to, and even me as a moderator, I had to like go, whoa, let her finish. Like hell, even like Material Life had to go through that sometimes. It's just like, but that's just learning how to podcast. But it's just like one thing you gotta realize is like, let them get their point across. I know like the whole thing is let me land, because a lot of people, they just hear things and they just want to jump. It's like nah, just let them land first and then put. So this is why honestly most people have moderators to where okay, let them finish. Then you go, because we all get excited. We all get to want to talk. We want to make sure we get our shit together. We aim to get our shit out, but a lot of times we talk over each other, and then half the time it's hold on, brother, hold on, and then we get blow ups like this because everybody's not listening. Go. This is why most podcasts have moderators.
And Africa is polygamy.
No.
It's not monogamous biologically, is it?
Some people do believe that monogamy is the most healthy thing.
97% of married men cheat, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's
85% of married women cheat. Nobody is being monogamous.
We've also been taught to lie, and we've also been taught to dominate and control. So I think there are other perspectives here that are valuable in holding that stuff accountable, because we were talking about how to hold each other accountable in this, right?
Can I add something to that?
In talking about trusting Black women and loving Black women, how do we hold each other accountable in that? How do we make promises that we can keep? How do we say that, make sure that we're surrounding each other with people who are going to check us when we're wrong, right? And how do we know that who knows what's right and what's wrong in that, right?
I think it's
even what I read, a lot of the time what we read is wrong. A lot of the time the books that they give us to educate ourselves are wrong. So I do want to hear more perspectives on literally how to hold ourselves accountable in that. How do we're talking about trusting Black women. How do we trust Black women, right? You know what I'm saying? And what does that trust accountable to? What books, because a lot of the books that we're given in school are lies that tell us the opposite of how to trust Black women. That tell us the opposite of how to hold each other accountable and make sure that we understand what is right and wrong and what each other's perspectives are. So I do want I love the energy of, I'm not afraid of the argument. I'm not afraid of the fight. But it does have to be. But I do want to make sure that we take it to a place where we come out here more powerful than we did when we came.
I think we got to listen to Luke.
I'm gonna stop it right here. Brother was speaking now. I'm gonna just say that brother was speaking, but sooner or later, hopefully this snippet will tell me if I can like review this whole thing or not. But and like I said, I probably won't go. This is an hour and 42.
Listen, I think
this is an hour and 42 minute, and that was just me going in from the halfway mark. So that was just like 7 minutes on the plate. So I don't know. I still want to look at this probably from the beginning, and but I just want to show you at least the most replayed things. So yeah, I think most of this talk about how, and I'm been saying this especially throughout this whole 2026, and I'm gonna say it again, and it might as well be my final thought. We need each other. Black men, black women, we need each other. There's no reason, and I've been saying, and I know I've been saying this, there's no reason we should be fighting against each other. We should be fighting with each other. We need each other more than ever, and we need each other to love each other, to understand each other, to know how others maneuver and get with people that actually fucking love you. And that's, and like we can just move from there, because yeah, I think that's other, like I said, I had a bunch of rants going on, and I may do another one soon, but this one was kind of like what was been going on. The other one is just like um how black men, I think, yeah, that's what my rants were how black men and women should be loving on each other. But yeah, go. So I'm gonna keep it short because I haven't said this. Yo, we're better united than we are divided. We don't need to be divided. We should be united, and that's mostly it. Um, if y'all been in here this long, I'd like to thank y'all for listening to me. Listening again. I would like to thank y'all for joining me. I would like to thank y'all for listening to hear me talk my shit again. This is, you know what? Let me just say podcast, and I'm signing out. Peace.